To learn to live the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Click the bell notification. It's all free. Okay, so we're canning the second to the last batch of chickens that I finished butchering yesterday. We got 25 pounds minus the bone weight here, and we got another 16 pounds in the refrigerator. I'll can that tomorrow, and then we'll be all finished for the year canning chicken. We still have quite a few jars left over. These jars aren't new. We got them at yard sales and different things, so we've got them stored here in the well house just because they need washed and scrubbed washed, not just, you know, rinsed off washed. But we got boxes and boxes back there of different mason jars, canning jars that we are going to use. I'm going to have to use some of these tomorrow for the chicken broth. And that'll give us almost a year's worth of canned food. Since I started butchering all this, of course, I got all these people telling me that I'm doing it wrong. The thing is earlier in the year, I was canning those bags of chicken at Save-A-Lot. There's 10-pound bags. You can get them like 59 cents. And then you can can that stuff. And it's really cheap. Now, here's the thing, is there's a lot of waste when you're canning that chicken. A lot of skin and bone weight that is not considered in that price. So when we're talking about raising our own chickens and buying that bag, you're probably up to $1 a pound nearly with the bag chicken. And so we're at $2.30 a pound with the chickens that I raised. So yeah, the bag chicken is cheaper. Agreed. What people seem to forget is when we bought the chickens, the bag chicken was out of stock at Save-A-Lot. One of the Save-A-Lots that we went to just recently was still out of stock. The other Save-A-Lot had them. I keep getting criticized that if a catastrophe happened, you gotta have all your prepping supplies, and I just don't understand what people are telling me anymore. It's so confusing that what I'm doing is wrong, what they're doing is right. So what they're doing is going to the grocery store, buying food, and storing it. Whether they're canning the chicken or buying canned chicken or raviolis. I've seen preppers on YouTube say, yeah, raviolis because they're so cheap. Well, I mean, that's real nutritious. I don't understand why we're storing food. If you're going to store food, you're going to run out of food. So here's the thing. We're going to go to the store, we're going to buy chicken, we're going to can it, and we're going to have a year's worth of food, and then in a year, after whatever catastrophe we're all talking about occurs, there's no more chicken at the store. Now here's the thing, I just Googled it. There is still a chicken shortage. Last winter, chickens froze to death during the hard freeze that there was in Texas and I guess Arkansas and just different states. Well, we're still suffering from that shortage. Restaurants are actually having problems getting chicken. And I've experienced this at Subway, and I think Taco Bell has some issues. They're having to reduce their menu. And then, of course, Save-A-Lot didn't have those bags of chicken. They're never out of those bags of chicken. You go over to the freezer section, they got hundreds of those bags, but I go there and they're out. So now we got this $1 a pound chicken that is being advertised for 59 cents versus $2.30 what I raised. I'm told that raising them is just not the right way to do it. It's not cost effective. But the thing I think is, one, I know what's going into these chickens, but I don't know what's in that Save-A-Lot chicken, that bag chicken. It actually looks pretty nasty compared to these chickens. It's yucky meat. Also, it's dark meat if you're not a fan of dark meat, but that doesn't matter. In a world shutdown situation, you're gonna eat whatever you can eat. Here's my thinking. When I'm out of food, all my canned food, and I have nothing else to eat, I got all these chickens right here who are going to be producing eggs, and I can also produce meat with these chickens. It's not good tasting meat, and it's definitely not as much meat as what I can get from the meat chickens, but I can get meat out of them. Secondly, if there's out of chicken in the store, but I can go to the hatchery and buy chickens, Cornish cross, and it only takes me 8 weeks to raise them, that's a better option in my opinion. So I've taught myself that I can raise chickens, butcher them, and get a lot of meat out of them. I have developed the logistics of being able to raise chickens. Now the person who says, no, you're doing it wrong, you gotta go to the store and buy it, even if he decides, okay, I wanna raise chickens, but after whatever crisis has happened, you're not going to have the resources to do it. You're not going to know how to do it. You're going to lose chickens because you're going to have to deal with wildlife. I don't have to deal with wildlife anymore. I got all that figured out on my first round. I've talked about this a lot. Sustainability. If you're relying on someone else, you're not sustainable. That person eventually will fail you. The electric company, the government, the grocery store. You go to the grocery store, I'm going to buy chicken today, and there's no chicken there. Eventually, they will fail you because they have no vested interest in you. They have a profitability interest, but if they don't have chicken for the day, oh well, who's really hurting worse over that? Them or you? Well, you, of course, because you needed the chicken. You had the money. So they don't need the money as much as you need the chicken, but they don't care. The electric company. Yeah, of course they would love for you to be using electric, but if they're down for a few minutes, yeah, it's a little bit of a profit loss, but they're not going to freeze to death. The ones I always find so interesting is the cell phone company. Charge you a fixed rate, $65 a month or whatever it is, and the tower goes down. You have no cell phone signal in your area for days. Do they reduce the bill? Nope. Cable company, same way. Reduce the bill? Nope. So why are you relying on them? So you don't want to rely on anybody else but yourself. I know that if my system fails, I have backup systems. Yesterday, we were trying to freeze a bunch of chicken and refrigerate a bunch of chicken, so the solar panels weren't keeping up with the refrigerator's usage. So I was able to do a backup to my generator, and I was just fine. So I relied on myself, and I have plenty of resources that I need, and it's already established. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about having 40 pounds of meat in the refrigerator. The electric company says, oh no, we're going to shut down today, and it's all gone. I've told you this before. My grandma had 2 freezer fulls of meat. Lost electric, lost all her meat. She lost thousands of dollars is my guess. She had cows in there, and it was just incredible how much meat she lost. So they threw it out in the woods, and the raccoons got a big feast for the next few weeks. I read a book a long time ago. Atlas, watch my shoulders. What do you do in Atlas? I can't say it because I'm sure they would restrict my video. It's not a book that a lot of people allow you to read anymore. And it was written in the 50s by a woman, and I never pronounce her first name correctly, but Rand is her last name. I think I can get away with that. So she wrote this book about the movers and the shakers and the government. The movers and the shakers made everything happen, made the trains run, made the steel mills go, just made everything go. Well, these movers and shakers were getting tired of the government taking things away from them. Oh, you got all the metal, so you got to, do it at a lower cost. And it's a huge book. I mean, it took me weeks to read it. But in the end, the government just kept taking and taking. Well, the movers and shakers just got tired of it. So they started disappearing. The second half of the book, we find out where they go, and I'm not going to give the book away, but they get away, and they start their own self-reliance program. I really don't want to give the book away. And that's what I've been trying to promote. If you've read the book, you'll understand what I'm saying. That I don't rely on anybody. They've already failed me. A few days ago, I made a video where I was talking about if you want to get the thing in the arm, that's fine. But if you don't want to get the thing in the arm, now you are being mandated to get the thing in the arm. Get away. I feel like my job is to get away from the government. Get away. Do the same thing that those movers and shakers did in the book. Got away from it. Let them fail. Let them just mess everything up. This country is lost. Become self-independent, self-reliant. I don't know what other word to use, but the prepping word is not the word we need to be using. What are you prepping for? It's already here. If you feel like that society has already failed us, and that we can't recover it, half the country thinks one way, half the country thinks the other way, we're never going to resolve this issue. Either side. Neither side is ever going to be happy. I hear people say, oh, well, you got to start a community. Got to start a community. Well, in any community, There are going to be the workers and there are going to be the takers. It's just always been that way for as long as I have studied history. And so what are you going to do with the takers? You start a community, you tell them, oh, well, you know what? Live here unless you do stuff. Well, then, of course, you know, then we got to feel sorry for them, and they'll say, oh, no, 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 I can't do this and I can't do that. And all of a sudden, everything becomes a can't, a can't, a can't, a can't. So this is how governments start. They start out with this beautiful idea that we can control this half and half thing, where there's the workers and there's the takers. Well, I'm going to be the worker and the taker in my society. That's what I am. I work for myself. And every day I'm here, I become more self-reliant. So, no. I watch the prepper channels, and I know people get tired of me saying this, and all they do is promote fear. They want you to be afraid. They want you to buy into this. It's not even that they want you to be preppers. They just want you to be afraid. They don't really explain much about how to prep. I'm suggesting don't be a prepper. Be self-reliant. Take care of yourself. Get away from it. Be independent. Get away from it. Get away from people. Get away from it all. I hope I can inspire you to find your freedom. Live in your dream. Thanks for watching.